Get ready for Hosts at Home. On today's season premiere, he's a host, a stand-up comedian, a doctor. We welcome the eclectic host of NBC's American Ninja Warrior, Matt Iseman. And now, here's your host, who interviews the host, Adam Wurtzel.
Thanks so much, Richard Malmus. Hello again. Welcome back. Welcome to Hosts at Home. I'm Adam Wurtzel. This is, of course, the show where we chat with some of your favorite TV hosts, past and present. Our guest today definitely falls into the present category. You've heard him say phrases like warped wall, salmon ladder, thousands of times on NBC's hit show, American Ninja Warrior. This man does it a lot better than I just did. Matt Iseman, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Adam. That has become my signature. Just American Ninja Warrior. I will be at parties. My niece drags me around. She goes, "Tell people you're famous." I'm like, they won't know. But I go, they'll know if I do this. American Ninja Warrior. Yeah, I sound like Cookie Monster. It's been amazing because I'm a huge game show fan. I'm a huge fan of all the hosts. And it's amazing to me as someone who's such a fan of television and obviously of hosting to have had the opportunity to be on a show that's become a part of the fabric of America now.
By the way, before we continue, tell everybody where home is for you.
So I'm in Los Angeles. I call it American Ninja Warrior HQ, Factorious headquarters. It's my house. I'm in my office.
By the way, you're the first guest that I can ever say this to. Welcome to Hosts at Home, Dr. Iseman.
Yeah. You can actually, there's my medical degree right there. It's shining as though it's saying, "Why aren't you using me?"
How did you become a doctor?
Well, a lot of schooling and way too much money. Yeah, I think for me it was, and so here's what's interesting is on paper, it's the perfect career for me because I love science. I was really good at the sciences. I love people. I love being around them and helping. The idea of helping people was great. So it was a career that fit. My dad's a doctor. He never pressured me, but I saw the amount of satisfaction that he got from his job. And I thought, this is the career. And it dawned on me, you don't live your life on paper. And it was just this realization that it didn't feel like the right career for me. And I was very fortunate that I, was young, I wasn't married, and that my parents supported me when I told them I'm going to quit medicine and move out to LA and try stand-up comedy. And they ended up being very supportive, which was huge because I'll be honest, when I told my dad, "Listen, I'm going to go tell jokes," if he'd said, "No, you're not, you're staying here being a doctor," I very likely would not have had the courage to come out and be living the dream that I am now. So I'm very fortunate that my parents really gave me that permission to go chase the dream.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, right.
So a doctor, a stand-up comedian, a TV host. If you ever need to put a resume together, can you just send it to me? I'd love to just see what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a lot of wasted education on there. It's the crazy thing about this is, I had no idea what my career would be when I came out here. I thought I'd, stand-up comedy, maybe sitcoms, whatever it was, and to have gotten into hosting and been into that now for 15, 16 years and had the opportunities to be able to do American Ninja Warrior. Now I'm hosting a podcast game show, Factorious. New episodes are every Tuesday. And to have done Live Rescue, where I get to sort of combine the medical degree and some of the hosting. Of course, the biggest one was going on the new Celebrity Apprentice with my hero growing up, my idol, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I know it's a little late, but congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. I never miss an opportunity to talk about that.
I've heard a little birdie told me that you can do a really good Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
Hey, Iseman, what are you doing? Get over here.
Don't feel, whoever big, that you're a loser. Okay?
Why would you even say that? You go to my childhood bedroom. The Predator poster has been on the bedroom wall since 1987 when that movie came out. And I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger has been my idol. The very first time I ever performed was my high school graduation. I always did sports. I played sports and did school. And at high school graduation, my buddy and I did Hans and Franz, which was Kevin Nealon and Dana Carvey, obviously doing a mock-up of Schwarzenegger. So my first performance was imitating Schwarzenegger, essentially. So at the beginning of Celebrity Apprentice, I'd never met him before. And just the day before we're in competition, he walks into the room in this massive press conference. And the very first thing I do, they're like, "What's going to be the hardest part?" I go, "Well, the hardest part is going to be not impersonating the boss." "Get to the chopper, do it now." he just turns and looks at me with the most disgusted look on my face. And I'm like, oh my God, I just got fired. Now, I find out the guy is the biggest ball buster you'll ever meet. And he'll never miss an opportunity to make somebody feel uncomfortable. They're like, Iseman, I was kidding. I love it when you, and now we do events together and they'll be like, Iseman, go out there and make fun of me. Go, do it.
I live in Nashville. You did a game show pilot here.
Oh my God. It was so much fun. It was trivia in the pedal cab, the pedal cab, right? With like 8 people on it. And I would be in the middle with a keg of beer, and we were doing trivia.
So we are outside the Johnny Cash Museum. What was the nickname for this famous, iconic country singer?
There, like a Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., bars, live music is kicking, bachelorette parties going, that street never stops. And it was so much fun doing it.
Let's talk about, so you tell your parents, hey, I'm going to LA.
Yeah.
When did you get your first TV gig, your first hosting gig, and what was the gig?
So my very first paid gig in Hollywood was as an extra on the Drew Carey Show. So I had a friend who was on there, and they were doing a softball game, and they wanted one team to be ringers. So I'd played college baseball. She knew that. So she went to the casting person and said, hey, I got a friend who'd be great for this. They get me on as an extra. So I spend the day on set, and there was an agent out there who repped every other ball player, most of them who'd played in the majors. And he's like, you have an agent? I said, no. So that's my first, which I still have the check receipt. I don't even think I cashed the check from that because I had it framed. And he's like, let me start submitting you. So then I got into commercials. And I booked my first national commercial probably 2.5 months after moving out there. And this was when national commercials were among the most lucrative gigs you could get into. I mean, better than, short of being like a star on a TV show or in movies, this was, because every time that ad played, you were getting mailbox money. And so I ended up booking, I think, 6 commercials within probably the first 6 months of being there. So I go from being a resident where I was making $32,000 to now making 6 figures in commercials. And so I loved what I was doing. I was making more money, and that really made it a lot easier to stay out there. So for the first probably 6-7 years I was out here, it was commercials and voiceover work that kept me afloat. And then my first hosting gig came in 2004. It was Screenplay, which was a game show that was a Fear Factor knockoff that only went 1 season, went away. But it led to a home makeover show, Clean House, that I did for 5.5 years and hundreds of episodes, which led to Sports Soup, which led to American Ninja Warrior. So my first hosting gig in 2004 got me the job I have today.
And you even have the poster to prove it behind you.
Yeah, I know. There it is. Listen, you're in my office. There's a whole lot of me. I get it. It's me everywhere.
We love it. We love it. Of course, your most famous show, arguably, has to be American Ninja Warrior. You've been with this show now 10 years. Did you know that it was going to instantaneously be a success when you joined?
No, I did. No, of course. No. And so I joined American Ninja Warrior. They'd actually done a first season. So the way it worked, it was a Japanese game show called Sasuke. They were dubbing it into English on G4, and it was one of their top shows. So they said, let's make an American version. They do 1 season of American Ninja Warrior, and it's a breakout hit. And they realized, we're going to put more money into this and retool it. They brought in a new production company, and that's when I got brought in season 2. So then the next year, NBC bets big on Ninja Warrior, and we split. So for the first couple of years, we were half on NBC, half on G4. And all of a sudden then G4 goes away. We go from 10 episodes on cable to now we're generating around, we'll do 36, 37 hours of primetime programming on NBC. There are now gyms that have opened up all around the country. Kids grow up not playing soccer, baseball, or football. They grow up as Ninja Warriors now. And it's awesome to have been a part of it.
When I was a kid, we had Double Dare. That was my show.
Yeah.
And this almost is the Double Dare for the new generation.
100%. I mean, American Gladiators and, Wipeout was another show. And it's interesting because I think we were definitely right place at the right time.
Matt, the thing that I really love about you on this show is that you genuinely get excited.
He says, I'm the new kid on the block. Whoa!
Do you ever lose your voice?
Of early on, that was a huge problem, because again, and I am a naturally enthusiastic guy. I played sports. I love watching people achieve more than they thought they could. You know, it's why I love football. I love the Olympics. I love sports because I think sports is this great metaphor for, you know, people pour their lives into this for this one moment where it's like, here's your chance. Here's your stage to do it. I think that's what Ninja does, what Ninja Warrior encompasses. So we now shoot at night, but we used to shoot during the day in Venice Beach. And, you know, we would go from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. And we're calling, you know, 80 to 100 runs where it's just maximum energy. And then we'll do those ins and outs, those welcome to American Ninja Warrior. And every day, by the end of it, I was on fumes. I was raspy. I was chugging miso soup, trying to get the salt and the hydration, pounding coconut waters and Gatorade. And I would get cortisone injections to try to control the inflammation. And ultimately what I had to do was go to a singing coach who works with particularly a lot of heavy metal singers. And she just had to train me like, you are muscling this. Like, you don't have to. You can teach you how to produce the same noise, essentially using the diaphragm. And so I really had to train myself to yell, to project in a different, more effective way, because I was blowing my voice out every day doing it. And all of a sudden now, you know, when we go to Vegas, we'll do 5 out of 6 days from 9 p.m. till sunrise. So, you know, you're doing 8 or 9 hours with a lunch break, but you know, I'm on nonstop 10 out of 10 for 5 out of 6 days. And now, you know, I hydrate, but I can do it because I worked very hard to learn how to use my voice.
Let's talk about American Ninja Warrior Jr. You're using that voice now, not just on NBC, but also on Universal Kids.
Yeah.
Do you do anything different hosting the kids version?
No. And, you know, I think that's one of the things that's been amazing. People ask what's different. I go, well, they're younger, but the obstacles are the same obstacles. They've been scaled to accommodate much smaller human beings. But the reality is, you know, when we start, so this is our second season that's airing right now. Our first season, we had no idea what to expect because we knew these ninja gyms were cropping up. We knew a lot of kids were training there, but we had no idea how they would do in competition. Because even though there have been ninja competitions, it's like, you're going to be on a course with thousands of fans, with cameras on you, knowing, you know, ultimately millions of people are going to see this. And it's a head-to-head format. And so the first season, we had no idea what to expect, and the kids were insane. The second season, we ratcheted up the difficulty. They'd gotten even better. And the level of their performances was so good that for season 12, we'd actually made a huge change in the rules, where it used to be you had to be 21 to compete on the show. We did a college version where it was Matisse the Kid Awadi, who was so good. He convinced us, all right, I think we can lower this to 19. So we dropped the age to 19 for a couple seasons. This season on American Ninja Warrior, season 12, we'd invited kids, boys and girls, as young as 15. Kids who competed on American Ninja Warrior Junior were going to compete on the main show, on the main course. And so that's one of the things we're so excited for, is to see these young kids. And what's been interesting, we obviously haven't had a chance to do it, but a lot of our ninjas will have off-season competitions. And a 14-year-old, Caden Lebsack, just won one of the ninja. He won a car competing against all the top ninjas. So it's one of these things where we're like, okay, we're ready. We may be ushering in this new generation of kids who've grown up on these obstacles, who didn't grow up as gymnasts or rock climbers. They grew up as ninja warriors. And all of a sudden, these young guns could be taking over the sport. But we can't wait till season 12 till we actually find out.
Can't wait for that. That's so cool. You mentioned.
And by the way, Adam, they make me feel lazy and out of shape, and they're rude young kids for that.
Matt, we have a big question for you.
All
Matt
right.
Iseman, are you up for a challenge? Do you want to play a game with us?
Oh, hey, I love it, because I don't mind failing and looking like a fool. So let's do this, Adam.
This game is called Play-by-Play. You are famous
right.
for doing play-by-play on American
Yes.
Career. So we thought we would give you some classic game show titles. I'm going to name a title. All you have to do is do some play-by-play based on the show. Easy.
I love it.
All right. Play-by-play, number 1, Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, well, here we are. You can see the word right there. Only 2 letters left on the board. The question is, will Adam spin that wheel and go for the money, or will he solve it? This is the decision. You know, if he leaves it, Sally in that next bin, she looks like she has the answer. What will Adam do? Vanna, are you going to reveal the answer? Find out what happens when we come back on Wheel of... I'm blowing out my mic. Pat Sajak job is safe.
That's fantastic. How about Supermarket Sweep?
Oh, Guy Fieri, you are on fire. We're going to Flavortown right now. Your challenge is this. Find some spices and keep it under $20. The clock is ticking. That's a horrible Guy Fieri, but you feel what I'm doing. Look at me. I need to drink. I look like a rabid dog. Oh, my God.
This is so funny. How about Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Okay, so I did just watch this with John Cena. By the way, Foxworthy did originally. John Cena, a really good host, and it annoys me because he's in way too good a shape. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? Let's take it way back to Mrs. Baldwin's class. A young Matt Iseman in there. Precocious? Probably not. Getting in trouble? Often doing it. Will you be smarter than Matt Iseman in Mrs. Baldwin's class? Or will you visit the principal's office? Okay, you know what? This is annoying. I keep defaulting to American Ninja Warrior, but I'm a one-trick pony, I think is what we've exposed myself as.
This is fantastic, and you know of all these shows, which is great. I'm going to give you...
I love, and I love watching other people who are wonderful hosts. And, they're just, Gordon Ramsay's another one who is so good. That guy is so interesting, and he's
Gordon
Ramsay
always does this. He always does this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, an idiot sandwich. Oh, an idiot. And to see, what a raging a-hole he can be to the adults. But then when he does MasterChef Junior, how encouraging and sweet he is with those kids and how he builds them up. And I'm like, he gets it. He gets TV.
He's one of the I've worked with him. He's one of the nicest guys in the world.
Is he? I've only met him a couple times because A. Smith, who does Ninja Warrior, does Hell's Kitchen and Kitchen Nightmares. And I think he and RuPaul are 2 of the best hosts on TV because more than just about any other hosts, their personality carries those shows.
Of all the classic game shows that you watched growing up, is there one in particular that you would love to host?
I come back and I think Snoop's doing it, but Joker's wild. I just remember the slot machine and Joker. Press Your Luck wasn't bad. I think that was Peter Tamarkin who did that. God, classic game. Because I want to think about this because family, it's like Family Feud would be a ton of fun, but Steve Harvey, he's killing it. Drew Carey's doing great on The Price is Right. You never want to step into someone's shoes who's awesome because you're always going to be compared to them. Although Drew and Steve Harvey both did that and did it fine. So I'd probably say Joker's wild. I think Joker's wild. I just love the idea of a massive slot machine. Oh, Hollywood Squares too. Although Tom Bergeron was fantastic at that. I like it because that one's pretty irreverent, and you get to have fun with the celebs. So maybe Hollywood Squares they have brought that. All of them have come back.
How about
Michael Strahan and Alec Baldwin they're all taking their jobs now. Apparently, you got to play in the NFL or have an Oscar or something.
Or be a doctor like yourself.
I know. I'm going to send this out, Adam. This is going to be my audition reel for more game shows.
Matt, you have been so much fun. We so appreciate you being here on Hosts at Home. Richard Malmus is here now to tell us who's on next week's show.
Next time on Hosts at Home, he hosted game show classics like Celebrity Sweepstakes, Quiz Kids, and The Game Game. But this man might be even more known for playing a game show host. Grab that dough. Jim McCrell is on the show. Now I'm in the mood to watch some Golden Girls. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, as always, Richard. And remember, if you like what you see, which I'm pretty sure you did, how awesome is Matt Iseman? All you have to do is hit the subscribe button. Do not miss another episode of Hosts at Home. You know by now I don't close the show. My name's Adam Wurtzel, but the man that does that is Matt Iseman. Matt, over to you.
Well, you heard that man right there, and you know what to do. Click subscribe, spread the word, and we'll see you next time. I'm Matt Iseman, he's Adam Wurtzel, and this has been Hosts at Home.